All right, Harry. Today we're going to talk about being a servant, right? And what it means to take the servant role. See, I like the analogy you gave us that we're at the bottom of the V when we're a child of God. On one side, we serve God, and on the other side, we serve man. Can you explain this or give us maybe a little bit more detail on this?
Yeah, it's an easier way for me to understand what we're supposed to do if we think of it that way. And Jesus teaching, he one of the things he says, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant," and that was a part of a parable where the king was satisfied with a servant that had worked hard and done what was necessary. And that's what we want to hear someday, hopefully, is well done, thou good and faithful servant. And so that means we're a servant. But what about serving? Who do we serve? And the aspect is that you think about it, we serve God and we serve man. Um, did Jesus include that in his own journey? And of course, I think of verse 14, sorry, John 14, verse 31, that I love the Father and do exactly what he has commanded me. And that was really fascinating when I thought about that. I love the Father, that's beautiful, and do exactly what he commanded me. Well, is how does that apply to us?
Well, it's exactly like what you're saying. Jesus says, "If you love me, you will keep my commands." Right? It's the same aspect where Jesus is taking that servant role, and he's giving us the example to be set as well. Right? Where it's true love. He says, "I love the Father, and I do exactly what He tells me." And He tells us, "If you love me, keep my commands as well." So we can see that aspect for how it plays to us is that we're to be obedient to Jesus.
You want to read John 13 there, that verse?
Yeah, for sure. It starts in verse 13, John chapter 13. It says, "You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right. So I am. If I then, the Lord and the teacher, washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I gave you an example that you should do as I did to you."
Yeah, so he expects the same from us, and he expects us to serve him, to serve each other also. Many people today, though, just digress for a minute, teach us to keep God to his promises, expects Jesus and God to serve us, to fix my problems, my health, my wealth, my happiness. Your thoughts on that?
Well, though I believe he does serve us completely in every single way possible that we can't even dream of, the whole aspect is that we're to serve him, right? And by serving him, he first serves us. So it's a beautiful little parallel there where we think about it. You know, the aspect that God, the heavens, the creator of the heavens and the earth, is in a relationship with us and we're serving him, but he goes far more than what we could even dream of, is quite beautiful.
Yeah, that's true. So Jesus told us to daily take up our cross and follow him. Did Jesus do that?
Well, we know eternally he did for sure, right? The whole aspect, the whole redemption, Calvary is included in that. But just even on a daily basis, he saw. I like the verse where he says he looked at the people and he had compassion on them, for they were a sheep without a shepherd. He was dying to himself and showed the ultimate amount of love all the time to people and cared for them.
Yeah, and he also said, "My yoke is easy and my burden is light." What do you think?
But I know you're better at explaining that one than me, so maybe you can help us out.
Yeah, like my experience has been that when there's work to be done, Jesus always carries the heavy end of the pole. Like just like when you're carrying it with your 10-year-old, he takes the light end, you take the heavy end, and that is where I feel in my personal journey with him, I'm always astonished as how he carries that he helps me through in such a way that I'm only doing a little bit. But we're expected to do our part. We're expected to be a servant, to also be caring, to also show the enthusiasm and the love, and to thank him for taking the heavy end of the pole,
Mm,
and so on. I just so grateful that to be in this journey. Yeah, yes, it's a journey of service, but he makes it so pleasant, and it's such you sleep, like and there's an old expression that says that takers eat well, the servers sleep well. And
mm.
yeah, like we can sleep well if we know we're in a pleasant place.
Amen. Thanks a lot for this, Harry.
Thank you.